So settle down, complete focus for the session for next 1.5 to 2 hours. Eyes closed. Hands in Namaskar Mudra, opening prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With few blinks, gently open the eyes. Thank you. So, are we ready for another journey on this beautiful text called Bhagavad Gita, the divine song? So, I welcome you all again. Right. So, the title that I have given is The Compass for Life. Okay? Because if we really imbibe the learnings, then it can actually guide you in navigating the challenges of life. Right. So, navigating modern chaos with the ancient wisdom. That's the motto here. And this is just my logo here. You can see Yogically Yours. And then those who are new, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and this is my number. So just moving to next. So I pray gratitude to the universe, universal energy, the institute, Asvyasa, all the gurus, and all of you who are taking part in this beautiful journey. Thank you for joining. So the key question, right? Why should we study the Bhagavad Gita? So those who are from Asvyasa, yes, one reason is for exam. But then if we leave apart exam, then why should we study Bhagavad Gita in today's context, right? So this is something which was said like 5,000 years back. I mean, the time is debatable, but let's assume it was done 5,000 years back, right? So how can something which was done 5,000 years ago can be relevant in today's context also, right? So many changes are happening. So any thoughts? Anybody want to comment anything on this? Just a one line or one word. Why should we study this today?
Hari Om, because
Hari
Bhagavad
Om.
Gita is encyclopedia for our life.
Correct. Sure. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. So let's move with this question. So just, this is the thought that I wanted to keep in mind that yes, there are some specific reasons why we are taking up this journey. Now there are many questions here, right? So again, let me put some thoughts in your mind. So have you ever felt confused even when you know what was right, but not able to decide, which direction we should take? Being torn between your heart, your mind, and your duty. These three things are pulling you in different directions. Your heart saying something else, your mind saying something else, and your duty is saying something else. Then allowed emotions to cloud your judgment, right? So your emotions were not allowing you to take the proper judgment. Worried about what if I lose? You are about to start something, but then all the negative thoughts are coming into your mind. Felt anxious, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained. Been unable to let go of any attachment, maybe for person, for situation, or for an outcome. And sometimes you reacted out of an anger or for whatever reason, and then you wondered, why do I react this way? And are you searching for lasting peace, purpose, and inner strength? Right? So these are a couple of questions which will be getting answered or addressed as we move forward in this journey. So if your answer is yes, so then yes, let's join this journey for the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. So two quotes here. The Bhagavad Gita begins where all of us have been at some point of life, not with the answers, but with some kind of confusion. And then the Bhagavad Gita is not about changing the world around you. It is about transforming the world within you. So the change should start from within ourselves. So let's not try to change the outside world, change our inner self, and the external world will automatically start appearing in a better way. So with these thoughts, let's move to next. Okay, so now I'll start with a Gita invocation. This is from a Gita Dhyanam. There is a text which consists of, I think, 9 shlokas altogether. So this is the first very shloka of that Gita Dhyanam. And in a way, it gives the entire essence of the Bhagavad Gita in just 4 lines. So as you can see, it is answering multiple questions around the Bhagavad Gita. So to whom it was taught? Om Parthai Pratibodhitam. So it was taught to Arjun, the Partha. Who taught it? Bhagwan Krishna or Narayana? Bhagavata Narayanin Swayam. Then who documented it? Sage Vyasa. Vyasena Grathitam Purana Muni. Where was it taught? In the midst of Mahabharata, right? The intense battle that was about to begin. It was delivered in that intense moment. Madhya Mahabharata. What is the subject matter? So nectar, the Amrit of Advaita knowledge. Advaita Amrit Varshini. How long is it? So Bhagavati Ashtadhyaya name, 18 chapters. And every chapter is named a yoga, Arjuna Vishadi Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, like that. So it is teaching you some or the other philosophy of yoga as we will move to the different chapters. And finally, what is the outcome of studying? One outcome is the key outcome, ultimate spiritual outcome is moksha. Amba Tvam Anusandhadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadeshini. O Mother Bhagavad Gita, I meditate upon you, for you destroy all material attachments and the cycle of feeling. So just in one shloka, you can see how beautifully everything has been condensed. And this is the beauty of our scriptures, right? Within one small sutra or one small shloka, they can say so many things that you can write complete books on this. Okay? So it's a very beautiful shloka. If you want, you can just remember this. Then another shloka, which is the fourth one. Again, this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Sarvopanishad gavo dogdha gopalanandaha partho vatsah sudhir bhokta dugdha gitamratam mahat. So here an analogy is given by the cow, its milk, and the dogdha, the person who is milking the cow, and all that. So Sarvopanishad Gao, because here it is said that all the Upanishads are cow, and the Gita is the essence of all these Upanishads. Right? So Gita is presenting us because those Upanishads are a bit technical and too detailed in nature and difficult for a general grahastha person or people like us to go through that entire set of Upanishads and grasp the understanding. So Gita does that intermediate work for us. It is squeezing out all the knowledge from the Upanishads and then giving us the entire knowledge on a platter. Okay? And then Dogdha Gopal Nandana. So who is the milker? Krishna is the milker. He is extracting that milk from the cow, and for whom? Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta. Arjun. Because he initiated that. Right? His mental condition in the beginning of that war initiated him to deliver this great uh, divine song. So the calf is Arjuna, which has actually triggered the milking of that milk from the cow. And Sudhir Bhokta. So drinkers are those with purified intellect. So people who are with the purified intellect, they are consuming that milk. And the milk is the supreme nectar of the Gita. Right? So again, a beautiful shloka. And still, even after being simplified, this knowledge, this remains still hidden because the effort to seek it is rare. Few are willing to study the Gita deeply, and many things that it is something to be taken up at a later stage. So we will see all those misconceptions also around it, and why it is being said that a person with purified intellect is the right one to initiate in this journey. So all that we will see. So these two beautiful, I wanted to start with these two beautiful shlokas. So any query, any comment till now? Okay. So I'll move to the next. Now, what are some common misconceptions about Bhagavad Gita? So two are related to the text itself, because generally it is said that Sanjaya, who was in the Dhritarashtra's court, he gave this entire narration to him while he was sitting with him. He had a divine vision using which he was able to experience whatever was happening in the Kurukshetra, in the war field, and he was giving the live commentary to the Dhritarashtra. So this is also different texts say it in a different way. There is another theory that says that no, he was there in the warfield itself, and then he came back 4 days to Dhritarashtra to give him the entire update. So again, this is not a conclusive thing, but this is just one point there. And another point is, did time stop during the discourse of the Gita? Because you can see that this is like 18 chapters or 700 shlokas long text. So it would have taken a certain amount of time. So what happened at that point of time? All because there are thousands of people who were in the war field. So they were just waiting because they were not listening this. It was just being given to Arjuna, and he was the only one who was listening. So what others were doing? So did time stop for that particular period? So that this is another open point that is there. Some people say yes, some people say no. It happened so quickly that people didn't even realize. Then there are a couple of other misconceptions, like it is for old age, then it promotes war and violence. So Krishna is generally said that, why didn't he stop the war? He was capable enough. He was a divine incarnation. He should have stopped that war. But then there were own reasons. There was adharma to be uh, killed or dharma to be restored and all that. So we will see all those real reasons behind this. It belongs only to Hindus. So again, these teachings are universal and applicable to entire humanity. It encourages renunciation of work. So some at many places you will see that the renunciation of work. I mean the results of the your actions are not in your hand, and then people misinterpret that. Then why should we work? If results itself are not in my hand, then why should I work? That is another misconception that comes with that. It is difficult to understand. So yes, I mean, if we are not putting the right attention and all, and if we are not coming with the right frame of mind, then yes, it will be difficult. But with proper guidance and with the simplistic way of passing on the message, it can be understood very easily. It is only a religious scripture, so that is also not the case. It is a complete psychology, ethics, leadership, self management, all the aspects you can correlate with this. Even if you look at the Western psychology and all. So when I was reading all that, after reading Bhagavad Gita, I realized that a lot of things are not only from Bhagavad Gita, but our different Indian scriptures. The basis of all that is somewhere coming from here, right? One must know the Sanskrit to study it, so that is also not the case. So there are a lot of translations, a lot of commentaries which are available, which you can refer. And it teaches fatalism. Everything is destiny. It says that don't worry. I mean, whatever has to happen, that will happen. So no, that is not the case. It emphasizes free will, right effort, and conscious choice. Right. So while yes, there is an element of destiny, still we have a free will. right, that we use on our own. So God or universe has left that option to us. They have given all the framework, all the means to us, and then left it to our free will, how we use those resources. Like if we take today's example also, I'm not able to see how many, I can see 15 people. So today is a holiday, you could have, done something else also, but you utilized your free will to join this session and have this discussion and understand Bhagavad Gita. So this is your free will. You could have used it for something else. You could have gone to movie or you could have done something else. So that is where your choice comes, the conscious choice you made, right? You made the right effort, you made the conscious choice to join the session. And this is just one example. So all these are misconceptions, and what is the reality against those misconceptions? So I'm sure you all will be able to correlate, or you would have heard it some or the other time. Then, okay. So today's session, let me just give a background also. I'm just keeping it to the essence, the entire building the entire background, right? So we will reach till the Kurukshetra, till the time the war is about to begin, and we'll conclude at that. And we will see all the efforts which were done before that to avert that war. And we will also see a couple of Vedantic terminologies which are important to understand this wisdom. Okay? So primarily, this will be the gist of today's session. So please feel free to interrupt, comment in between if you think, I'm actually stating something wrong, or if you want to comment, add anything, just feel free to interrupt. Okay. So now what is the uniqueness of the Gita, right? So there are so many scriptures, not only in Indian philosophy, but in the Western philosophy and all. So what is so unique about the Gita? So this is also said as Gita Upanishad or the fifth Veda. So we have four primary Veda, Yajurveda, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, and Atharva Veda. Sometimes Bhagavad Gita is also said as the fifth Veda or Gita Upanishad. And this is the direct divine dialogue in the form of questions and answers between Arjuna and Krishna. And it's not like a sermon that he is just giving the sermon blindly. Krishna is delivering some sermon. That is not the case. So you would observe that in the first chapter, in the Arjun Vishad Yoga, Sri Krishna didn't say even a single word. He was just listening, completely listening to Arjun. He was just observing the entire battlefield and listening to his state of mind. And then from the second chapter, he starts his talk. Then it is taught on a battlefield. So such a knowledge, filled with a wisdom, being given in that intense atmosphere. It is not given by any Brahman, sannyasa, because Krishna was a Kshatriya, he was a Grahast. It is coming from him, and that too in a battlefield, right? So that we can correlate that, wisdom was imparted amidst the conflict, showing spirituality is meant for life, not only just for forest or monasteries or just for the bookish knowledge, right? So direct connection. Then integrates multiple yogic paths, all leading to the same goal. So as we progress, we will see that it talks about the karma yoga, it talks about the bhakti yoga, it talks about the dhyana yoga, it talks about the jnana yoga. So all different yoga paths leading to ultimately the same goal, which is moksha. So why different paths? Because people have different temperaments, different attitudes. So based on their temperament, their attitudes, they can adopt the path that suits them. And ultimately, there is an integration that happens. So that all we will see in detail. Then contextual universality. So inner conflict of human existence. So this is the prime subject, I would say, of the entire text. It starts with the inner conflict of Arjuna, and we all can very well correlate that with our own life battles. So this is not a religious thing or something. It is a universal phenomenon, right? Happening across the world, irrespective where you are. So next point I already spoke came from Kshatriya. Then conversation between two friends, right? It was not a guru shishya dialogue. It was a conversation between two friends because till that point of time, Arjuna always treated Krishna as a friend. So he may have some indications about the Krishna being a divine form, but he was always in that mode in a friendship way, right? So uh, this is a dialogue between two friends, not Guru Shishya, and does and it does not refer to any other text directly. So we will find the references to Sankhya philosophy, to different Upanishads, particularly Kathopanishad, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, other Vedantic philosophies and all. And there are debates also which came first, these other texts which are being indirectly referenced or other way around, all that. And in the end, it is a practical philosophy. It brings the deep technical teaching of Vedic philosophies to daily life teaching in an easy to understand approach. It's like a ready to eat approach, right? So instant delivery in today's Zomato's world, right? So it's giving you that. Its only thing is that we need to understand that. And it in a way addresses all these challenges that we have: attachment, emotional dependence, emotional regulation, stress, anxiety, cognitive distortion and delusion that we are facing today, decision making under pressure, leadership, resilience, all these, self mastery, all these, right? So as we progress, we will see all these points are getting touched in one way or the other. So again, some beautiful quotes. The Gita transforms life's battlefield into a path of growth, purpose, and inner peace. Such a beautiful statement. And as relevant in today's boardrooms and homes as it was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this actually changed the entire course of that battle. Right? When Arjuna was in complete doldrum, he had put up his weapons and said that no, I can't fight. At that time, this started. And we can use these teachings in all our day-to-day life and in all such situations where feeling very low, dejected, or whatever it is. Right? So this is another thing that I wanted to cover. All these related to uniqueness of the Gita. So here in today's session, we have a mix of people, some from SVSA who will be appearing for the exam and some from outside also. But this is, whatever I'm covering, this is entirely generic and useful for both, not only from exam perspective, but from the daily life perspective. So those who are attending the session from the exam perspective, just forget that exam point for right now, for this session at least, and just focus on the essence. Because by the end of this session, I would say 20-25% of your exam philosophy will also be covered. Okay. So before I move, I'll just take a pause here. Any comment till now? Any input, any comment till now? I'll just move forward. How is the pace? Is it okay, or I need to slow down or speed up? Is it making sense?
The
Okay.
class is lovely. I'm just really enjoying. Very good pace, very nicely explained. I can't
Thank
fault
you.
anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's move forward. Okay. So we have seen the initial essence, we have seen the misconceptions, we have seen the uniqueness also. And now let's see what is the further. I mean, we already went through a couple of questions why we should be studying, but then some more insights into why we should be studying the Bhagavad. So first and foremost is the spiritual goal, right? It imparts Brahma Vidya, the moksha that we saw. So unable to deal with the immediate problem at hand, Arjuna approached Shri Krishna to get help to overcome the anguish he was experiencing. So what Shri Krishna did, he didn't just advise him on the problem. If he would have wanted, he would have just scolded him then and there and said, "You are not able to understand. Just do whatever I'm saying," because they have had such a great rapport. But he didn't take that shortcut. He instead went through this entire text not only for the benefit of Arjun, but for the benefit of entire humanity, for the benefit of all of us. Irrespective, whether we are on a spiritual journey, we want to attain moksha or not, because there are other things also, right? As you can see, it's all different yogas, all the 18 chapters, different yoga. So it is helping or building us to have that day-to-day life, how to live that day-to-day life in a better way, all that. And then it integrates with all that, it integrates all the aspects of our life. Right? So these misconceptions we already saw, but then Bhagavad Gita makes no such distinctions that fine whether you are just starting this journey or you are at which age of your life, which stage of your life, what is your profession, what is your financial background, nothing doing, right? Everybody is same here. And it aims at the consecration of every aspect of the human life in this world itself. It's not that you will get something in the next birth. Obviously, you will be getting some good karmas and all, but then you are purifying this life itself, which is actually going to help you accumulate good karmas and which will help you in the subsequent stages of this life as well as the next life. So all 18 chapters are designed as different types of yoga since they deal with the methodologies for the application of spiritual knowledge to practical life, right? So the moksha, the end objective for spiritual seekers, all the integration of different aspects of life and then building a framework around that. And then definitely it gives us the mental and physical and immunity related benefits also. So in our scriptures, it has been said that our most of today's health related changes, non communicable diseases, are originating from our mind. Anadhija Vyadhi, right? So if we are able to purify our mind, if we are able to address all those our challenges, reduce our stress level, bring a calmness to our mind, then we will be reducing all these mental disturbances, which ultimately percolate down to our pranic level and then subsequently to our bodic level and all that. That we are in a way killing the source itself here. And once we have addressed the mental issues, we have attained that mental calmness. The next stage which comes is the physical health. Our mind is calm. We are not, getting bogged down by the stress. We are not getting bogged down by the workload or whatever it is. So first, it will reflect at our mental level, then at the physical level also, and gradually our immune system will be functioning in a better way, and it will be like a cycle. We will be seeing improvement in all our physical, mental, intellectual, and innermost layers, Anandamaya Kosha, all that. Right? So that is the case here. So what is being said is two factors can influence. One is the outside factor. So the outside environment, outside people, outside situations, and all. Right. So these are something which are not in our hand. Outside environment, whether it is too much polluted, whether it is too much hot, whether it is too much cold, whatever it is, that is beyond our control, right? Similarly, people, we are interacting with a number of people within family, within society, at corporate level, everywhere. How they behave, how do they react to our wordings, our saying, that is again beyond our control. The situations which come in front of us, right? Again, those are not in our control. What is in our control is our own mental, physical immunity that we are building through the knowledge, through the yoga practices, and all that. Because the moment you are able to understand this distinction, your immunity is increasing. So, what will happen? You will have four advantages, four indicators of the good health. First of all, you will have low frequency of disturbances in terms of physical diseases or mental reactions. For example, earlier you may be, having too much of anger for even every small things you were reacting in a very strong way. Gradually, you will find those frequencies getting reduced over a period of time, the mental reaction, the physical diseases, and all. Second, the low intensity of disturbances. Even when these are happening, gradually the first the numbers will reduce and then the intensity itself will reduce. From 10, let's say now it is happening for 5 times. Initially it was very aggressive, now it has become mild. Then third one is reduced duration of the disturbances. Earlier you were getting angry for 5 minutes. A disease impacting you for 3 days. Now you are getting, you know, recovery in a shorter period of time. And the after effect, the fourth one, that also getting uh, uh, reduced. You are getting back to the normal healthy state as early as possible. So this is, I mean, here we are referring to Gita, but then all the yogic practices and all, this is the key philosophy. If we are living a healthy lifestyle, healthy mindset and all that. So all these four are direct or indirect benefits of that. So if you are already, following all this, you would have observed this, or if you're not following, if you start following it now, you will observe all this with the passage of time, right? So just see, I mean, so much of learning for our day-to-day life. Very simple learning, but very deeper in meaning and very easy to adopt. I mean, again, so it's easy to say all this, but yes, I mean, it requires some effort. As we saw that willpower, the conscious effort. So it requires that willpower, that conscious effort to move in this direction. Then it becomes easier, right? So if no comment, then moving to the next. Again, in the same thread only, right? So just building that context here, right? Now, why a person with clear intellect is the consumer of the milk which is extracted by Krishna, the wisdom that is given by Krishna. So then question could be, why are we saying, only the person with clear intellect should consume? I mean, if I already have this clarity, then what is the point of studying the Bhagavad Gita or, going through this lecture? That is an obvious question that can come. So it's not only for that, but for the people who are actually willing to move in this direction. Right? So Gita teaching should be given to one who either fulfills already certain conditions or at least is willing to fulfill these. So there is a very beautiful word that is used in many of our texts in the beginning. I mean, that is not used in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, but if you look at Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Narad Bhakti Sutra, or Brahma Sutras and all these start with a word called Athaha. Athaha. So that has multiple meanings, out of which one or two meanings is one is now, therefore, and second meaning is auspicious. So the first meaning that is now, therefore. So it's like, we have seen all the challenges of life. We have done a lot of different things to come over those challenges, and we are not able to go through that. And now we are starting this journey, the journey of, let's say, the yoga, journey of a Brahma Sutra study, or the journey of this Bhagavad Gita study. Just single word, but then entire book has been written on that single word itself. So that is the thing here. So what are the four things that they are saying? One is tapaha, so disciplined in life, one who follows the moderation, or at least willing to move in this direction. Bhakti, so love and devotion to the Lord as a destination. Sushrusa, so one who wants to learn Gita, right, in a real sense. Then Anasuya, not finding fault. I mean, I'm not coming to the class just from the purpose of demeaning the learnings or the teachings. I'm coming with an open mind to question the understanding, not the validity itself. I'm doing a critical review or critical comment on this. Those are always welcome. So because that is the basis of all our scriptures, all our Indian philosophy. They always welcome that criticism, that healthy discussion. The healthy comments are never barred or stopped from being brought into the discussion, right? And then this one key aspect is around the purusharthas also. So this is also an important aspect. So four purusharthas, our scriptures talk about four purusharthas: dharma, artha, kama, moksha, which are like human goals. All of us are guided by these four goals in our life. So I'll cover this in the next subsequent slides, slightly in detail, because this is also a basis of the entire text that we will be seeing. So just like this, I'll be covering a couple of other things also, like our Varna system, our ashrama system that was there initially, and a brief on the four types of yoga that we spoke about earlier. Because all these terminologies will be coming again and again in some form in different chapters. Then transcending the senses.
Sorry
Yes,
to
there a comment?
interrupt. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. Are you presenting your screen? We are not able to see the screen.
Oh, since when you are not able to see the screen?
We have not
You took a
seen it.
break to have an interaction, has an interaction. No? It's there.
Oh, initially because I shared, and
Yes, since we had like a feedback little minute break after that,
okay.
it looked
So,
like you just came out of it to speak to us, but then you never got back into it.
I'm really sorry.
That's all good.
Is it visible now? Okay. So do you want to just quickly go this slide you saw, or uh, anyway? Anyway, I'll move forward from here. But at any point of time, if my voice is not clear or the slide is not visible, just comment immediately. Thanks for highlighting. Yeah, so I was talking about this dharma, artha, kama, and then I moved to this transcending the senses. So our senses are always outbound. All our five senses, the seeing, the hearing, the smell, and all that, these are always directed outwards towards their objects. And our mind, which actually should control those senses, is always running behind those senses and following that. And that is the biggest challenge. And our intellect should be controlling our mind, that also not doing. And our mind is controlling the intellect. So whole process is happening in a reverse way. So here it is talking about the transcendence of senses if you really want to understand the true essence of Gita. And then separating the literal from the metaphorical. So this war, this Kurukshetra war and all this. So this is like a metaphorism, this which was there to have a clear-cut analogy with our internal struggle. So we have to see it from that perspective, not just that something is happening on the in the Kurukshetra, in the war field. Two armies are fighting, weapons are getting exchanged, this, that. But there is a deep philosophy behind that. So that is something that needs to be understood. And then ultimately self-realization and God. So another beautiful quote here that Krishna can never be understood until you have studied the Gita, for he was the embodiment of his own teaching. Right? So there are a lot of misconceptions about the Krishna or about the Bhagavad Gita itself, but we really need to understand the essence of Gita, to understand Krishna, or to understand all these learnings, hidden learnings which are there. Right? So with that thought, I'll move forward. Any question till now? Okay. Now, as I pointed out, fourfold Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So anybody wants to say what are these? Just any inputs on these before I go into the details? What is Dharma? What is Artha? What is Kama? What is Moksha? And how these are correlated with our lives? Anybody wants to say anything? No, all are in listening mode only.
Dharma
Fine,
is the righteousness, the
Right.
duty, ethics, that we are living in
Yeah.
harmony. Then Artha is the wealth, the livelihood, security, the prosperity for material things. So Kama is the legitimate desires, the enjoyment of life. Moksha is liberation from the ignorance, from the cycle of birth and death. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. So you covered the essence of it, right? So our life, I mean, as per our scriptures, our life is guided by these four Purusharthas. So first one is Dharma, so which is like our ethical framework, basically, right? So the laws of nature, the invisible form of wealth, translated as good luck. We don't see it, but it seems to contribute to our well-being, right? So we'll understand it better, and it can be earned. So doing what is right and living according to the values, that is the one meaning of it. Fulfilling one's own responsibilities, acting with honesty, compassion, and integrity. Without dharma, artha and kama can become destructive. So as we can see, in today's world, our politicians and a lot of businessmen and all those, they are uh, uh, taking all the means to earn wealth and all, so which are not in line with the. And then fulfilling one's response. So we all have different responsibilities, right? So we are playing different roles in our life. We are a family man, we are a working man in our corporates, we are interacting with society. So it's at each and every place we have different sort of responsibilities. We are guided by different kind of rules, different kind of ethics, right? And nature has its own, framework of the karma cycle and the entire cycle of evolution, dissolution, and all that, right? So all this encompasses dharma. So earning money ethically rather than through corruption. This is just one example. Then second one is artha, that security and means to get them, like present, future, and our survival. Right? So we are securing our life. So because if we have to live, we need to have these four primitive fountains addressed. Ahar, Nidra, Bhaya, Maitri. Food, sleep, fear, reproduction. Right? So these all are four basic things, basic necessities, which are the basis of our physical life. Right? And these are, you can see, same as the animals also. They also live with these four things. What separates us from them is our wisdom, our intellect, our free will. Right? So this is artha, the to adopt the ethical means to earn all this. And then kama is the legitimate human desires. Love, family, friendship, art, recreation, all these kind of. So these are not just the necessities, but these are certain things which, even if not there, yes, we will be able to survive, but then that will be a different kind of life. So these are certain add-ons, nice to have, or so the Gita does not condemn desire, but it teaches moderation and intelligent management of desires. So it is talking about moderation here. Fine, I mean, we are in the human form, we will have the desires, no denying that. But how we are channelizing those desires, or towards which direction we are channelizing those desires, that is the point here. And we'll see two very beautiful shlokas, 2.62 and 2.63, which we say as ladder of fall. So the origination of that ladder of fall is the intense desire. So I'm not going into the detail of that shloka right now. We'll see that when we go to the second chapter, but that is called as the ladder of fall, and that the intense desire is the beginning of that ladder of fall, which ultimately leads us to the destruction. And then comforts that we don't need for survival, but for enjoyment and entertainment of senses. So kind of, we can say, unnecessary necessities. Right? So necessities which are, I mean, it's good if those are there, or if not there, still it's good. Then, as per the scriptures, there are four limitations of all these three goals, even including dharma also in this. What are these four limitations? The first one is anityatvam, that is impermanence. So all these three goals, the outcome of these three goals are impermanent in nature. Those will be there today, but tomorrow they may not be there, or these will be changing continuously. So that is anityatvam in that sense, impermanence. Second one is dukkha mishritvam, so which involves pain, or you can say which this requires a lot of efforts also. And within this also, we have three variations: arjane dukkhatvam, rakshane dukkhatvam, and shaye dukkhatvam. So it's like, first of all, we have to make a lot of hard work to take all the pains to acquire something luxurious, let's say. Once we have acquired, then rakshane, we have to maintain that, put all the efforts, do all the hard works to maintain that. And we always have a fear of loss. So that is shaye dukh mishritvam. We always fear, let's say, I'm very fond of an Audi car, let's say, right? So first I'll, burn a lot of midnight oil at my work to earn that. Once I have bought that, now I have to maintain, because the maintenance is also not easy. EMI, the insurance, the maintenance itself. And then whenever I'm on the road, I'll always have a fear that, if I meet with accident, what will happen to you? I'm not bothered about myself. I'm more bothered about my Audi car. What will happen if it gets damaged? So this is Dukha Mishra. I mean, it is all this doesn't mean that, we give up all this, but then we have to first decide for ourselves what kind of life we want to lead. I may decide for myself that yes, I want to live a luxurious life. Fine, that's okay. But then you have to channelize your means. You have to, you know, gauge your capacity and your financial means and all that. But then you should not get bogged down because of all that efforts which are required to attain those, luxurious things, to maintain all those things. Or you might say, no, fine, I am, fine living a moderate life. I don't need all the luxuries. I'm just fine with the simple things in my life. So again, it is your free will. You can decide for your own. Bhagavad Gita is not saying that it is wrong or right. It is just giving you a framework. What will happen if you choose this path? What will happen if you choose this path and all that? So it is giving you that framework and then leaving it to your free will. So in the end also, the last shloka also you will see, after delivering all this wisdom to Arjuna, in the end also he is not pushing him to follow a particular thing. He just says that, I have given you the entire wisdom. Now you decide for yourself what is good for you. He left it for him. He didn't force him that, you should fight or you should not fight or you do what. So same thing is for us also. We have in front of us this entire framework, not only from Bhagavad Gita, but from all other scriptures. It is up to you, up to us, how we, imbibe those learnings and how we decide to live our life, a luxurious life, a moderate life, or what. And the last one, the third one is atraptikam, not completely fulfilling. So all these luxurious things, all these desires, these are never fulfilling in the sense that our mind is a monkey mind. You fulfill its one desire, it will ask you for more. I bought an Audi today, but then now another higher version of it has come, or some other luxurious car has come. My neighbor has bought another higher version of it. So now my mind is again running behind that. Again, I am feeling inadequate, incomplete. And that chain will never stop. So in that sense, it is always atraptikaram, not completely fulfilling. And then bandhakatvam, it creates dependence. Our happiness becomes dependent on these things. We forget our inner happiness, which is our true nature, and we start finding our happiness in all these outside objects, outside things, outside relations, and all that. Right. So again, this is kind of a chain. Anityatvam, dukhamishritvam, atraptikaram, bandhakatvam. Right? These four limitations. And then finally, the fourth purushartha, moksha. So now you have realized all these limitations of the first three, dharma, artha, kama. You understood that these create the bondage. And now you are looking for the means to come out of this bondage. Somehow to get away, to get over these limitations. And then once the person with clear intellect has seen this clearly and wants to come out, Gita or other scriptures help. Now I am looking for help outside. So if you look at Arjuna's state, his state is something, slightly lower than this at present. He has not even realized, what is binding him, what is preventing him to move forward with the righteous war. Now, as we move forward, we will see how his mental stage also evolves with every passing shloka or every passing words of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. So we'll see the psychology, we will get into the mind of Arjuna, we will get into the mind of Duryodhana, we will get into the mind of Dhritarashtra, we will get into the mind of Sanjaya, right? To understand the trigger points and to correlate all that with our day-to-day life, with our mind. And with that help, we'll try to go inside our mind also. Right? So that's the journey that we are taking here. So any question? So we are completing almost 1 hour now. So I'll just take a pause, brief pause. I'll not remove the sharing now. So any comment? Any question?
You know how the bandhakatvam comes, that it creates dependency.
Yes.
If we just look at how contradictory, like we were talking about, whether it's relevant in today's time. But if you look at the ideas of uh, the coaches who motivate you, and they say, oh, you should do more and more hard work and create more and more liabilities, and you should venture out into more and more so that you can work harder, you can be inspired, and that bondage will make you work harder. So the whole, you get used to the higher, so you thrive for it and you work harder. So which is a
Right.
very complete opposite of how
Correct.
we're going into the roots of the
Yeah.
psychology and understanding. And quite
Yeah.
funny enough, we were sitting in the IT side of, SVyasa one of these days. So somebody came and he inspired exactly the same thing. And Guruji and all the spiritual, all these people were sitting listening. So, one of our, management person, he stood up and he exactly reiterated the things and reversed.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
amazing how the things that are being told to us, how much
Mhm.
they're completely opposite, but they sound like really true. But you'd really have to have that knack, that clarity to really catch hold of that and, reverse it. So
Yeah.
just got that one point here.
Yeah, I mean, because see, I'm able to correlate all this very closely because I myself have spent 30 years in corporate, right? So I could very easily correlate. I mean, the direction generally is, just to keep you on a one direction itself. Just, keep on doing the hard work, hard work, hard work. But then just slight tweaking is required. It's not that we don't have to do the hard work. We will have to do the hard work because that's how the things are. But then along with that, we need some kind of a relaxation also, some kind of channelization of that, the intense effort that is happening and all that. The problem comes there. Most of the corporate leaders, most of us are just running, 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 and we are not taking out time for ourselves, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day to relax the mind, to slow down the speed. Because as within the Bhagavad Gita itself, it has been said that, stress is nothing but the speed of the mind. Right? So we are not slowing down at any point of time. We have been, as you are saying, our corporate leaders or management gurus and all that, all of them are just saying, run, just keep running, don't stop. Otherwise, somebody else will take your place. Right? So that is not the case. I mean, you can still run, but then at the same time, take out some time and then have that, relaxed work with relaxation in working. That's the key of the karma yoga, right? So that is the philosophy that we have to. We, fine. Anybody else has any other thought? Else I'll move forward. Okay. So moving forward. Now we are moving to the Varna system. So we saw that So just see, how beautifully our scriptures have also placed the thing. So we saw that Purusharthas. Now to cater to those Purusharthas, they built this Varna system and the Ashrama system that we'll see. So Varna system, again, this has been distorted completely with the passage of time, right? So what is this Varna system? So this is the societal arrangement to support pursuit of human goals or necessary conditions and atmosphere that is created to so that the humans can pursue their human goals. In ancient philosophy, society is divided into four groups, four varnas. We will see that uh, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, and Vaishya. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Those four varnas. And according to the Bhagavad Gita, this classification relies on the dynamic interplay of three parameters. So generally in society, what has been done, that has been distorted. So like Shudra is being attached with something like a lower kind of person. Untouchables and all those things were prevalent, even prevalent today also, and were there in those times also. Whereas that was not the purpose of coming up with that Varna system. If you look at this shloka itself from Sri Krishna ji, Chatur Varnyam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashah Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. So what he's saying here is the four categories of occupations were created by me according to the people's qualities or the gunas and the activities. Although I am the creator of the system, know me to be the non-doer. So he's saying, fine, though I have created, but I am untouched. I am beyond all this. But for us, he's saying that the prime motive or the prime purpose of creating these four varnas were the gunas or the karma. So it's like guna is like, if we correlate with today, like I am a very activity oriented person, or I like to do something new every day, something like that. Or there is somebody else who just wants to follow some well-defined things and wants to follow the instructions and all that. So based on that, his profession will be driven. Based on that, his work will be driven. So the gunas, again gunas, there are three terminologies in our scriptures: the sattva guna, the rajas guna, and the tamas guna. So these three, as per the Sankhya philosophy, these three are said to be the building block of our manifested nature. These are the three strands of the rope of our manifested nature. The moment we move beyond these guna, that means we are moving beyond the nature, beyond the prakriti. That is a different story. So the inherent psychological and natural qualities of an individual, these are categorized into sattva, rajas. And now depending on whether the person is with a sattvic tendency, like he likes to be into the mode of goodness, knowledge oriented and all, there is a certain category that is called a brahmana. Then if I'm passionate or activity oriented, I like to work hard, then rajasic in nature, then I'm getting into the Kshatriya kind of profession. I'm a Kshatriya by nature. If I'm into, again, in the Rajasic, the third category is Vaishya, and then so I'll show that in the next slide. Then based on the karma, so the daily work, occupation, and the actions in a person performs, aligning with their dominant guna. So the same thing, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. What kind of activity you are performing based on your guna. And the jati. So this is the misconception that has happened. I may be born in any of the family lineage, any community, right? But that is not going to define my guna or karma. So in some gurukulas, what used to happen is, or in some places, there is a culture that the moment the person is born, after some time, he was left in a Gurukula, and his identity was never disclosed to the gurus. And then Guru used to, you know, judge the student based on his inherent tendencies, inherent properties, mental properties, and accordingly, the person used to be given the activities. He used to be given the direction whether he will go in a Kshatriya direction or Brahmana direction or what karma he will adopt. Right. So it was not based on the jati. So let's see in the next slide the comparison. Right. So I've just given a comparison here of all these four varnas and what kind of karma. So the Brahmins are like intellectuals and the teachers. They are dominated by sattva, the knowledge-oriented person, purity, wisdom. All these are characteristics of them. And what are the activities? They are dedicated to the scholarship. I mean, the scholar, the student, teaching, performing spiritual rituals, guiding society morally. So this was the role of Brahman. One of the key role of Brahmins at that point of time, you would have seen in a lot of our spiritual stories that Brahman used to be a guide to a king. There are many great sages who were the guide for the many great kings of their times. Right? So the Brahmin, then the Kshatriya, the warriors and the administrators, dominated by Rajas mixed with Sattva, the courage, the power, the dynamic action. So they are responsible for protecting the nation, maintaining law and order, governing the state, and all these. And you can correlate with today's functioning also. Then the third one is Vaishya, the business-oriented kind of people, the merchants, the farmers, dominated by Rajas, mixed with the Tamas. So you just see the difference here. Kshatriya, they were also dominated by Rajas, but their Rajas was mixed with Sattva, right? And Tamas was to a very lower extent. In Vaishya, the Rajas is mixed with Tapas and Sattva is to a lower extent because the Vaishya, the businessman, majorly whatever he is doing for his own earning. Fine, there are certain businessmen who do the charity and all also, but then there are majority of them who are just earning for their own sake, for their own comfort. Right? So that's why their rajas is mixed with tamas. Managing agriculture, commerce, banking, wealth creation to sustain the economy. Right? So this is where the grahastha ashram comes into play. And then fourth one is the Shudra, the laborers and the artisans. So dominated by tapas, which are service-oriented, physical labor and support kind of activities. Provide essential skilled labors, infrastructure support, craftsmanship, services to other field groups. Right? So as we can see, all these four are required for a society to survive. We cannot say that a particular varna is better than the other. In one sense, we will say that Brahman is better than others. That we'll see the subsequent slide. And then again, if we just do a comparison across ages, so we have had this Vedic age, wherein a lot of Upanishads and a lot of good scriptures came in. And that's a different story that all of that has been, majority of that has been destroyed. But the focus of the society at that point of time was self-realization. Right? They were not too much bothered about economic progress or the war, weapons, and all that. But the entire focus was the finding the self-knowledge, all that. That's why such rich texts or the learnings came from that period. When we moved to the era of Mahabharata, that was the time that was dominant. So the Vedic stage was dominated in a way by the Brahmin mindset, right? The Sattvic mindset. In the era of Mahabharata, the Kshatriya mindset, the valor, the power, the weapons, all that. All the kings were fighting for their own supremacy. all of them were just looking to expand their kingdom and all. That was the focus. Self-realization was also there, but then that was limited to a certain set of people at that point of time. And in today's era, what is happening? It's excessive focus on the money, just money, 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 money. And the proportion of the people who are actually looking for self-realization is reducing further. So this is just a, I mean, not a hardcore fact, but just a high-level indication across the ages, across the eras. So, any doubt, any question, any comment?
I mean, even if
I'll
you
just,
see it now in this age
Mhm.
at present, as you
Yeah.
keep going from Shudra to up and up, the income block also increases. Shudras, I mean, if somebody has to do any labor job, would be the least. Intellectual jobs would be the maximum. So there's obviously a very, there is disparity.
disparity.
And
Yeah.
then again, if you will see in the gunas, even though at that point in time, whatever job is given to each varna, it would help them to transform to the next. You know, like
Right.
how we learn the tamasic person has to work hard and so on and so forth. So,
Right.
though it will help them, but then still, over the time, because they are obviously more dull. The
Mhm.
tamas is supposed to be more dull than the
Yeah.
rajas, and rajas is supposed to be more dull than, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
there is disparity anyway. Even if we look at it, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, from common sense, if I have to write that they're all the same in some form, but then again, everybody tends to have, children who get born in the same a Brahmin's child is Brahmin. So all that kind of things, kind
Yeah, I mean, see, that disparity will always, it has been there, it will be there. I mean, it is there and it will be there. And I can see that that disparity is increasing day by day. But then there is an option for transformation also. That also we'll see. So I've covered that also in the subsequent slide. And we have multiple examples in the past and even in today's world also, wherein, people were doing very low or the task in this category, in the Shudra category, and then gradually they have progressed. I mean, just take an example of our country leader itself, right? From a tea seller to where he is today. I mean, that is an extreme example to quote, but then yes, there are many, there are a lot of businessmen, the Ambanis and many such people, or our spiritual leaders also, right? Some great sages which are there. They started from a very small kind of thing, and then they have, with the passage of time, they have grown themselves by using whatever means, and then they're into different category altogether. So again, it will boil down to, I think, our own willpower, our conscious efforts, where we are redirecting that. If I'm happy with whatever I'm doing today, I'm just happy in doing a small kind of a service or whatever low level job I'm doing. I'll continue to do that throughout my lifetime, right? But if I have a direction wherein, I want to move move out of that to next level, next level, next level, then at least I'll give it a try. I'll put in some efforts. I may succeed, I may not succeed, because again, that will be driven by a number of factors. But then at least the person who will make an effort, he will have some chance of moving further in the ladder. Right? So
But then
this
for
is
the
again,
exam, the right answer is that they are supposed to be all equal, right?
they
We
they are
have to
supposed to
write
be all equal.
to get a mark.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, to all equal. And there is a slide, so I'll come to that also. The which one they are saying as superior and why, that is also said. And what is the process of transformation, that is also covered in the subsequent slide. So you can hold on to your thought till now, and then I think that will get addressed. Then again, you put up your question if there is any. So this is just another pictorial depiction of that, the guna-based varna. So as you can see, this the first one, dominant guna is sattva, the varna is brahman, and all this. So I've already shown that in the table in the previous slide. So I'll not put in more time on this. And here in the bottom that you can see the first one, brahmana, they are contemplative personality. And asati meaning it is the dominance of the guna. So sattva is most dominant, then rajas, and then tamas. So this is the composition of brahmana people. Highest is sattva, then rajas, then tamasic. When you move to kshatriya, they are selfless activism, right? So they are fighting for nation or whatever. So their rajas is mixed with sattva, and then least is tamas. So they have rajas, sattva, tamasic, that composition. Highest is rajas, then sattva, then tamasic. If we move to Vaishya, since they are doing selfish activism or selfish work, their rajas is driven by tamasic, and then sattva comes in the end. And the Shutra, the tamasic tendency comes first, then rajasic, and sattva comes in the end. Right? So tamasic for two reasons. Either they don't want to put up any effort, that's why they are at that stage, or even if they are putting the effort, they don't want to put too much of effort. They are just happy with whatever they are doing. They are just happy in serving others. So there are two, three, understanding of that tamasic state. Then there is another depiction that is the karma-based varna classification. So Brahmana, they are focused on learning, teaching, research, rituals, and all this. Kshatriya, their focus is defense, administrative, ruling the country, all these activities. Vaishya karma, agriculture, business, industry, and Shudra karma, as we saw, unskilled, semi-skilled labor. Right? So this is just another depiction to reinforce the learning. Then, yeah, now comes that question: is there any gradation? So first question is there a gradation on the basis of jati? The answer is no gradation. So in one of the texts, there is a saying, Janmana Jayate Shudra. So the meaning of which is, by birth, all of us are Shudra. Shudra in the sense, we all are born with the same blank mental state. And we all evolve with the passage of time based on, the kind of family environment that we are getting, based on the society environment that we are getting, based on the teachings that we are getting and all that. Right? So that will be a gradual progression for all of us. But the starting point for all of us is Shudra. So it is not good to say that, you are a Shudra or something. No, don't demean anyone based on their profession or based on their caste. And everything is required. I mean, in today's world also, whatever low quality job we can say, let's say cleaner, somebody is sweeping the house, somebody is cleaning the toilet and all that. But then they are required, right? Be it a lower quality job or whatever, the entire chain of work, entire change of karma is required. Even if one part is missing, we will have a collapse, we will have a challenge. There is a recent example here in NCR in the Delhi, right? So there are a lot of maids. There were a lot of maids who are the immigrants of Bangladesh. So during the elections of West Bengal, all of them were taken to Bangladesh to vote, and there was a real crisis here among the people who have been taking their services on a daily basis. There was a real crisis. It was like the life has stopped for people. That was the scenario. And then all these apps came in, hire the app. We have the apps wherein you can hire the maids on an instant. Within 10 minutes, you get the maid help and all that. So, I mean, that is just an example that,
Yes, yes,
each
we
and
have. We also have in Bangalore.
you also
Yeah,
have, right?
yeah.
So, right. So that shows that importance. So
But I
then
was not
whether
that
the,
much aware that why it is like that. I knew that my like
uh,
construction person, people were also going to the Bengal
uh,
for
uh,
the voting and all. Yeah, that I
uh,
knew, but I didn't know that these maids
no,
also went and all. Yeah,
yeah, that was the route actually. So see,
correct, correct.
that gave a trigger for an innovation. People came up with those apps, different business model, right? So that gave rise to these Vaishya, these business people from there. So just see that all that connection happens. Then is there a gradation based on karma? No, there is no gradation. All professions are important for society survival. Is there a gradation based on guna? They're saying yes. Right? So there is a yes here, but no for all, big no for all others. So guna brahmana is said to be better than guna kshatriya or guna vaishya or guna shudra. Why? Because he has a contempt. Because the end goal for and spiritual goal for all of us is moksha, get out of the bondage. So Guna Brahmana has a contemplative mind required, which is required for studying the scriptures, and he might have already traveled to a certain level in his spiritual journey. So probably he is sitting quite closer, or maybe some steps away. Somebody maybe 2 steps away, 5 steps away, 10 steps away in that journey. So in that sense, the guna-based guna Brahmana is considered better than others, not in a demeaning sense. Right. So this is the point you should remember, those who are appearing for the exam. Right. So this is around the gradation part. Nothing more is required here, I think. So any question on this gradation part or on the Varna system itself, guna based or karma based? So all these points you need to remember: the guna based system, the karma based system, and the gradation. And the final point on this is around the transformation of a person suggested by scriptures, which we can correlate with our day-to-day life. So if a person is Guna Shudra, will he or she always remain Guna Shudra? Tamasic? The answer is no. He can move in steps to next higher stage, which is Guna Vaishya. And what is the means to do that? The Kamya Karma. Kamya Karma is what? The Guna Shudra, as I said earlier, is a kind of a lethargic person. He is not, willing to work hard, or for that matter, may not willing to work at all. So we need to give him some kind of a lollipop, some kind of a motivation to at least start doing some work. Fine, you do this work, so I'll give you, say, whatever money, or I will give you this thing, right? You do this thing for me. So it starts from there. So once we sees that, yeah, he has worked a little bit and then he is getting that, return also, then gradually he starts shedding away his lethargic tendency. So what will happen is first he will, move to the basic working, and then he will intensify his working. He will, he was working for others, and then gradually he might move to Guna Vaishya also. So he will gradually. It may happen in 1 month, it may happen in many years also, depending on person to person. So what will happen here? He is start working for himself, he is earning for himself and all that. So now we need to move him to the next stage, which is the Guna Kshatriya stage, so that he start work. At least some part of his earning, he starts giving for charity, or he start looking at the larger picture and contributing to the society. So for that, he needs to be given the concepts of karma yoga, do the nishkam karma. So initially, we motivated him to do the kamya karma, to move from guna shudra to guna vaishya, and then we are now moving him from kamya karma to nishkam karma to move to the guna kshatriya stage. Now, when he has moved to this stage, so it's like he's working very hard, driven too much by the Rajasic. His mind is running fast, very fast. And this is just the example of corporate that we were discussing. So now he needs some slowdown, some calmness of the mind. So that is where this Upasana yoga or the dhyana, the meditation, all that comes into play. So we'll introduce this in his lifestyle so that he gradually develops a contemplating mind or the calm mind and moves towards the guna brahmana. So he will start gradually, and probably with, if he is willing and if he continues to put efforts in that direction, he will move to the next higher stage, which is required for jnana yoga, which is called as gunatita. Or he will attain that jnana yoga stage and travel on this gunatita stage in parallel. He will start going into deeper meanings of the scriptures and all, and at the same time do the self-study, swadhyaya, to understand his own true nature, to get rid of the coverings that he has. Right? So this is the transformation that can happen, and what are the means. And all these, like above transformation, is given in a scriptural context, but suggested means can be applied in day-to-day life also to bring transformation to our own life. So anybody who wants to grow from a gudashus, from a labor, let's say, he may be a construction labor today, but he wants to own a construction company itself at some point of time. So he can start working in that direction. So fine, not everybody will be able to do that, but yes, some of them will be able to do that with strong intent, strong efforts, and all that. So this is the entire journey of the Varna system, which was, we said that it is a social framework for us to attain our Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Right? And now we will see the individual system, individual framework that they built to attain or to help the journey of attaining that four Purusharthas, that is ashrama system. Fine. Should I move away? Right? Thank you. What's the time? Fine. So I'll just cover this ashrama system today, and then we'll just pause for question and answer and then close the session. So what are ashramas? So I think most of you would have heard that, right? The four ashramas. So what do our scriptures say about that? Anybody wants to just cover that, the essence of it? What are these ashram? What is this ashrama system?
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Stages of life transforming from particular age group when
Yeah.
during the teenage or childhood, he'll be learning the things, and then he'll
Right.
be once he's a adult, he'll have family life, and then he'll work towards his karma, and then after fulfilling his karmas, then he'll be moving to the ashrama life for focusing on his inner journey.
Inner journey.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Nicely summarized. Okay. So yes, as Kranti also said, it is an individual arrangement to support pursuit of human goals. Dharma, I mean, we already saw this, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. What exactly are those? And this structure balances personal development with societal, social contribution. Right? So it helps to bring a balance between our personal ambitions, personal achievements, with the social contributions that we need to do. So and at a high level, at that point of time, what they said is, in a way, they divided into 4 quarters: 25, 25, 25, 20. Assuming that we will live for 100 years, 25 years of brahmacharya, 25 years of grahastha, 25 years of vanaprastha, and 25 years of sannyasa. Right? And the cycle that they thought of, it's like, initially I'm in a brahmacharya student life, then I move to grahastha for next 25 years. And by the time I am completing 50 years, my own child would be entering the grahastha system. They would have attained 25 years old of age, right? They would have completed their student life. They are entering into the grahast life. So now at the age of 50, it's time for me to just cut down, from this day-to-day engagement into the family. Just become kind of a guide for them, for your children, but don't interfere into their day-to-day life. So that is the true meaning of vanaprastha. So it's like the start of the withdrawal, the start of the inner journey, preparing the mind for knowledge, upasana, dhyana. So you have fulfilled your family responsibilities in this grahastha ashrama, whatever you were supposed to do, and now you are withdrawing, and now your children are taking over the family part. And once you have completed the vanaprastha, built the base for the deeper learning, deeper jnana yoga journey, then you actually move away from family and actually take a sannyasa. So vanaprastha is not sannyasa in that sense. Generally, it is taken in that sense that, yeah, you're giving up the family and moving away right at that stage itself. But that is not the case. It's the sannyasa stage where they said that, yeah, you have completed 75 years. I mean, number is just an indication, can be plus minus also. At 75 stage, you just give up all the attachments. You have given the learnings, whatever you can give to your children, to the society and all. Now you move to the ashrama to go further deeper into the inner journey, attain some more intuitive knowledges which you cannot attain earlier, and then again, imbibe that to the society. Or if you want to just travel further in your inner journey, again, that will be a free will given to you. Right? So in brahmacharya, what we are doing, it is just a student life. We are learning to self-discipline ourselves. We are building our character. So this supports the pursuit of dharma. So we are learning all these ethical framework and all to live our personal life, or we are refining our personality, understanding the religious nuances, the worship, the value system, all that, all the kind of profession that we'll be taking up further. All that is being done in the brahmacharya state. And then in the grahasthashram, that is the karma yoga path, wherein we will be fulfilling the artha, the earning of the wealth, and fulfilling of the desire, the kama part of it, within the ethical boundaries. This is the most critical thing. As we saw earlier, it should be driven by dharma. Whatever we have learned in the student life, we should drive all these artha, kama activities based on that. That is the biggest challenge. People just forget all that dharma and just focus on this artha and kama. They go to any extent to fulfill these two goals. dedicated to marriage, raising a family, contributing to the economy. And these are the backbone of the society because they feed the financial framework of the system, right? They fund these ashramas also, all other charity work and all that happens through them. And Vanaprastha, we already saw the stage of withdrawal and serves as a preparation for final spiritual liberation. And sannyasa is the Jnana Yoga, the final phase of complete renunciation of material possessions. We have given up everything and went to the ashram. The individual dictates themselves entirely to spiritual enlightenment, the pursuit of moksha, and realizing the ultimate truth. So these are the four ashrama system and why these are built and what is the importance. These help us for a structured growth that we know that in this particular phase of life, what we are supposed to do. And unnecessarily, we are not running behind some other goals also. So first we need to learn the goals of a particular stage and then we move on to the other goals. Duty to self and society, how to demarcate between these two, that is also being taught by this. And in the end, this is helping us to understand the holistic philosophy. By linking the ashramas to the purusharthas, the ancient Indian philosophy provides a balanced, step-by-step roadmap for holistic personal development. Right? So, why is the ashrama system built? What is the ashrama system? And what is the importance? Similarly, why was that Varna system built? What are the different Varna systems? And what is the importance involved? And with that, yeah, I'll just take a pause for today and we'll continue in the subsequent session. So now open for discussion, open for feedback, open for any question if you have. Any question, any feedback? Trying to digest all the information.
Rupeshji, the way you have, started with Purusharthas,
Yeah.
and then you branched it out and did that interconnectivity with Varna system,
Yeah.
on the guna based and, the the gradation, the transformation thing, and the karma based, then the ashrama based. So you've been branching out this purushartha. Is that how they test us for the exam also?
Yeah, this is I've taken from Shiparna Didi's, the base for this is Shiparna Didi's
Okay.
teaching.
All right. So that sense we have to make how this dharma, karma, dharma, kama, artha, all that,
Yeah.
how it interconnects with the varna system and how it
Right.
interconnects with
The ashrama system.
all that, how
Yeah.
the transformation of kama would go to, the artha would go to something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Dharma,
that
kama.
Guna Shudra. Yeah, Guna Shudra to Guna Vaishya to Guna Kshatriya, Guna
Okay.
Kshatriya to Guna Brahman, and then finally to Guna.
Okay. All right.
So you don't need to bother. You don't need to bother too much about the dharma cross connection with that. So just understand that dharma, that four purusharthas, then the varna system, then the ashrama system, and the movement, the transformation that can happen, and in ashrama system, how I showed that, I mean that because that is again not like I showed that in the grastha ashram, it is basically artha and kama, driven by the moksha. Right. In the brahmacharya, it was primarily the dharma because we are not earning at that point of time. So that way, logically, if you take the flow, it will automatically, you will be able to build the story there, even for the exam also.
Right. And that is how we get tested also as per the examination. They don't directly jump to like, okay, the Varna, but they kind of, branch out from Purusharthas and make it tricky going through.
Yeah, it will depend, whether it is coming for
Okay.
2 marks or 5 marks or 10 marks, or whether they are mixing 2, 3 things within the same question. Because that is the pattern that I have seen of late, that they try to judge your presence of mind also, how you are able to correlate the learnings. It's not that just the bookish knowledge, but then slightly
Got you.
different way they are trying to put up the question. So if you understand the concept, then you will be able to catch hold of that and then answer.
Thank you, Vishnu.
Fine. Anybody else? Any question? Those
Yogesh, the notes
yes,
will
sir.
be shared, right?
Yeah, these slides I'll share later, not right now.
Okay.
So once we reach to a particular stage, because I'll be refining these as we move forward, and then I'll share.
Okay. Thank you.
For now, you can take whatever notes you want, then reconnect. Any
And when
doubts?
do you upload the videos? Will it be as you go
We-
or later on?
Video probably I'll upload by tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, if you just do a mananam, so you all have done shravanam. Now do the mananam on this, and if any doubt, just ping me. I'll be happy to answer. And then for the next class, I was planning for Tuesday afternoon. I'll just publish that in the group, the final schedule for that. And tomorrow, I think some of you have opted for Narad Bhakti Sutra also. So I'll see you people in the Narad Bhakti Sutra class tomorrow, and rest in the next Bhagavad Gita class. So thank you all for joining. Let's just close our eyes, sit comfortably, close eyes, just try to recollect whatever we have done in last almost 1.45 hours. Quick recap from where we started, what all we saw in the journey, and where we concluded. And let's close with a prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashyap Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, gently rub the palms and with few blinks, open the eyes. Okay, thank you all. Have a nice day. Nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You can put up your feedback on the group.